All right. All right. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Bison, aka Bison Trades, over on Twitter. Welcome back to another episode of RareFUD Radio. On today's episode, I don't know what we're talking about. I don't know what we're talking about, guys. Yeah, there's not a whole lot going on in the market. I was actually just talking with Joe behind the scenes about photo finish, trying to learn a little bit about that. In case you guys can't tell, really the big thing that's keeping me in the market at all right now is games. I just want games. I think games are the perfect hedge against boredom right now. And we actually have a good amount. And I'm glad to see that they're getting attention. You know, obviously, Heist is still going to heist. Photo finish getting a ton of love. We just had Honeyland on, had Corey from Honeyland on. If you didn't catch that episode, I would watch it. Seriously, that was one of my favorite guests we've had in a long time. He gets it. Very eloquent speaker. And I think they're building like a very comprehensive ecosystem with the right mindset over at Honeyland. So I think they're great. Star Atlas, I'm trying to like kind of dive into Star Atlas. I think I want to focus on Solana gaming first, and then we'll kind of branch out from there. You know, I still play NFL Rivals like before I go to bed and everything like that. So yeah, games are really the only thing keeping me in. Thank God we have football on, because I would be miserable right now. I would be miserable. We had a full NFL slate. NFL was awesome, except the Aaron Rodgers injury. That literally broke my heart. You hate to see it for the guy. College football, full slate of that. We get the EPL back, so I get a soccer, footy. We'll call it footy. I don't know why we call it soccer either. Believe me, you don't have to tell me. I'm a stupid American. I get it. Americans are stupid. I don't know why we call football football. We play like 10% of the game with the foot, not even. So yes. Anyway, sports are the only thing keeping me in. Games are the only thing keeping me in. Everything else right now, we're just biding our time to get to the next bull cycle. Maybe we'll talk about that today. We'll talk about predictions for when we think the next bull cycle is coming. I do think it's going to be longer than people are expecting, but maybe not as long as some others are. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring on my brother in content, my wonderful co-host, Mr. Dorian himself. Dor, how we living?
Yo, what's going on, dog? Every day's a holiday. Back for another one, man. I mean, markets marketing, man. ain't much going on out there, to be honest, dude. Like, other than games such as, Heist, even Tayo's doing pretty well. Photo finish. I would not be touching any NFTs right now. Like, we're at the point in the market where, like, unless you can actively do something with your NFT to derive value right now, it's just not a good time to be buying digital pictures, like, at all. If anything, I'd be working on increasing your soul size or any of other spot crypto bags. But, like, I'm not loading up on any NFTs right now, dude.
Yeah, it is games. It is sports for me. So if you're into gambling or anything like that, I think, now is the best time to be getting into gambling plays because we got full slate. This is the best sports streak we have in all the sports. You can make an argument for like April or March to June-ish, whenever the NHL, the Stanley Cup playoffs and stuff end, and you have Champions League final and everything like that. But I would say September to December, January is like my favorite sports stretch. I mean, like, we get everything back. NFL's pumping, college football's pumping. We get the EPL back as well as all the other, European soccer leagues and everything. It is my favorite time of year, and I'm happy because if we didn't have it, if we were back in summer where literally all the sports are dead, nobody's playing anything.
Yeah, dude.
I was forced to go out there a couple times, dude. And nothing's going on in the market. I would be miserable. I would be a miserable sack of shit. I'm just going to tell you that right now. So, I'm at least having fun looking elsewhere. And then the other thing I was going to talk about was DeFi too. I think DeFi is going to be the other thing that you can mess around with that you can actually get an edge there. And I've been saying this for the longest time. My thesis is that DeFi is going to pop off before NFTs do. It's a lot more liquid. We're seeing it with SPLs. A lot of people are making trades over there. And I think one of the reasons that games are doing good is that people who don't enjoy games can get some sort of exposure with SPLs and any sort of DeFi they're offering over there. So let's go ahead and bring on our other wonderful co-host, Mr. JoeSol himself. Joe, how we doing, my leveraged ape friend?
Yes, sir. Doing well, man. We're doing well. Doing well. There ain't much going on, but we're doing well.
No, there isn't. What are you doing right now, Joe? I mean, what do you like? What's getting Joe through the day right now?
Shorting the market. I'm working my Web 2 job like a human being.
So we're being normal humans now. That's it. This is why I like sports too, is because I can actually relate to my normie friends. Like my whole personality isn't predicated off of my PFP or my following on Twitter or anything. I just talk sports with all my friends. I go play golf right now is the only thing getting me through. I got the golf bug again, which I haven't had for a while. It's been a long time, but all of a sudden I have this irrational urge to just go out there and literally play a terrible game of golf. Dude, that's it.
Even with me, man, I've just been focusing on building out this business or whatever, and a lot of Web 2 stuff and spending time with my wife. I have not I've been looking for alpha in the market, and it's very difficult to find any right now.
It is, and it's just such a weird range. I think, like Joe's saying, I think being net short is probably the right way to go about it. We literally had some of the most bullish news we can possibly have, fundamentally speaking, that I did say this too on the last episode. I said, this isn't a fuse to ignite the next bull market. This is just powder into the keg. Now, I thought it would keep us more stable. I did not think we would be going down this much. SOL is currently sitting at $17.85. It's not, I barely even check the price of SOL anymore. I'm just at that point.
It usually, and I'm with you too, man. It's just SOL ranges between 15, 16 to 21, 22. And then we just been stuck there, God, forever, man. Like after the Visa announcement, I thought, we'd finally gain some price stability, but not here on Sol. I think I've been hearing rumors about FTX being able to liquidate the remainder of their Sol or something. So maybe people are being spooked out about that.
Yeah, that was something I was seeing going on the timeline. That makes no sense.
Yeah, because I thought they already did that.
More apt people in the space that, and again, I mean this when I say I probably shouldn't even be doing a show right now because I am so out of tune with the market, and I'm gonna let you guys know that right now. Like I just have general theses, and I'm sticking to those and trying to play the informational edge for me. Unless I'm doing leverage trading and I'm doing it on low time frames, scalping I just don't have time for that anymore.
Yeah,
it's not worth the risk or reward. There are some people out there. Joe's actually repping one of them. AD Leverage Labs over on Twitter. If you guys don't follow him, you should. TJ's another good one. We shouted out TJ a couple times, but NSTR_TJ, which stands for nothing significant to report. Even though the guy reports a bunch of actual significant, substance in this market. He was basically dispelling the FUD. I couldn't agree more. It's going to be on a schedule. It's not going to all be market dumped at one time. Like if they are able to liquidate, it'll be on a schedule. It's not going to happen just all at once. And it's going to be like, okay, liquidation over. And it's not going to be a market dump. If anything, they're probably going to try to find OTC buyers if they do go the liquidation route before they even decide to market dump. So I don't know. I think that FUD is like, if we want to price that in, that's fine. Go ahead.
Because I think that's at worst what's going to happen. It's going to get priced in and we'll see a pullback. But people, I forget if it was a Google or whatever. It's like Solana can't, like, if somebody sneezes, Solana loses his price. I mean, it's so ridiculous, man.
It's so much easier. And if you look on the weekly, we have been down on Solana for 5 straight weeks, really close to 2 months since we ran up in July, and then we all celebrated way too soon that said Solana's so back. When it swept
what
up
was
to
that
32.
one day where everybody was like super hyped? We're like so back, and the next day it was like,
it was so annoying because you sit there and you're literally just frustrated because we have been trying to break this stumbling block that was $26 to $27 for ages, and then we rip up to 32, and you're like, oh my, this is it. Like we finally have. I hope we have another plateau. And literally the next week, we lose it. We lose that key level, and we're back to the same stupid range. And honestly, I could see us going all the way back down to $15. And for me, like I just like that's the only time I'm buying. Now, am I selling anything? No, you already missed your shot. If you're trying to sell right here, I think you're selling at a really bad RR time. Like I would rather hold Sol and just have it staked and not cared because I have that bag and just let that cook because I know exactly where it's going to go over the next 2 years. I don't care about this money. I don't care, bro. You can it can go to zero and I'd be like, gosh, that sucks, but I don't care. I know where it's going to go. I can be patient until then. I'm not trying to trade right now because I don't have the time. Now, if you do have the time, I do think this, like you can find trends. I know Joe's killing it. I know TJ's killing it. I know AD's killing it. Like there are good traders out there that you can follow. Manny over there with ETH shitcoins. He's like plugged in with Miladies now. Great person to follow. Like I do think there is definitely some alpha in the market. I just don't have the time for it anymore. I would rather focus on IRL stuff, Web 2 stuff. Like, and that's just literally going to be the only thing. Right now I'm focusing. And also, hi Jakey. It's nice to see you in the audience, man. As far as like what I'm prepping for, one, I'm going to Italy first week of October. It's going to be great. After that is Breakpoint. And like, I think I'm focused more on bringing value to Solana for the long haul than worried about value extracting in the short term. Where there's no more value to extract here. I don't think there's
nothing left to extract.
You can't trade. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to like trade and like rope people. I was never trying to do that anyways, but like now is certainly not the time that I'm taking short-term trades. It's not. I mean, the only thing that was popping off lately, to give you guys a market overview, we are basically still at the same place we've always been, right? If you have the market overview tab over on Sniper, that's sniper.xyz/market-overview if you want to follow along like we always do. 2,351 buyers over the past 24 hours. Like it is PvP. It is PvP. Guess what? We're still at a 2-to-1 ratio as far as sellers to buyers. PvP still. Things haven't changed. Our Solana, total volume, 33,000 Solana volume. We're actually up 17% from yesterday. That's good. But do you think you're going to be making any more money than if you went out and if you're being like Jakey, making go make content, go make a name for yourself, build your brand, and there's some other people out there, Digis out there, and people actually making, and not just like engagement farming, but like actually making content, actually doing something, or you can sharpen your skills. Do you want to be involved with the project? What skill do you want to do? Do you want to be marketing? Do you want to be, on the data back end sort of thing? Should be learning Python? Do you want to be involved with something else? I'm actually working with Salami Mommy and E-Money, and we're doing a Friday space going over sports betting, going over football, just in general. Because we're at that point in the market where I'm like, what else are we going to talk about? You know what I mean?
Dude, I'm right there with you, dog. It's just like, if you're not building, your skill set, or, providing value somehow so you can, build your brand or be notable during the next bull run, I don't know what you're doing right now, man. If you're just sitting here tweeting out GM and like still being a moon boy, it's like, dog, you're wasting time. It's like, it's important to use this downtime in the space to actually develop, even if it's not through short-term trading. If you want to trade, that's fine. There's great, as you mentioned earlier, there's great things like Leverage Labs with AD. Like, if you want to get in there and learn how to trade, I think no better time to do it to learn the basics than now. I'm not saying you're going to be making a ton of profit, but unless you're like Joe, who's probably the best trader I know. But other than that, it's like you're probably not going to be making profit. But I think that now it's a great time to learn, or just like find a project and build up your skill set, whether that be on the marketing side or the community management side. Do something to like be able to bring in revenue outside of trading. Like, I've had people hit me up and be like, "Oh, Dorian, I want to trade full time. Like, what advice do you have?" And I'm like, don't trade full time. Don't do that.
Trade full time.
Yes. Like, don't, unless we're like in a full blown bull market, I would never recommend that. Like, and then even then, you better print enough where you, during the down period, you'll be fine, because the market's so unpredictable that you don't need to be putting your livelihood on the line like that. I mean, God, don't get me wrong. Some people out there can do it. For me, I'm not that type of guy. So, I'm not going to recommend that to anybody ever.
Yeah, no, and Joe will tell you too. Like, Joe, do you think it's worth it to be a full-time trader right now?
No. It's not worth it. It's not worth it for any. Like, I'm not. Like, it's not worth it really for anybody, right? Like, full-time traders are guys that have substantial $1 million plus portfolios that are day trading 1 to 2 to 3% moves in a week, and they make enough to cover their overhead of life, and then the rest is just compounding back into their portfolio. Like, that's a 1%. Anybody you talk to isn't a full-time trader. Like, a true full-time trader with benefits, insurance, a whole house, like, to live off of trading is a fallacy for everybody, mostly. Truly.
The one thing I'll say is that if you are going to be a full-time trader right now, you have to have experience, which this is a terrible time to be getting those L's. Like, you're going to get chopped up, and you'll be deploying capital in a time that I think you could just wait on the sideline, preserve that capital, and then deploy it when there's a much clearer trend.
Most people are scared to short. Shorting is the fastest and quickest money, but it's the scariest money, especially with leverage. What ends up happening is short squeezes build because retail FOMO jumps in and goes, "Oh my God, it's going to just keep going lower." Retail FOMO jumps on short ends on macro bottoms like this, and then squeezes happen. But you have to allow that fear to go, "Oh my God, it's not going down. Oh, it is going down. Oh, it's going down forever." Pile on the shorts by retail, squeezes happen. But right now, it's the true money that understands how to trade. Market makers fueled their shorts with the choppy play here, and I just don't see a case like DXY is bullish. I just don't see a case really, unless we really have some ETF news that comes out very positive quicker than we imagine, that would really spark any true volatility past the price movement we haven't seen. I mean, that we've seen this
but even with the ETF, Joe, that you were just talking on, I think Easy came out with a short yesterday or something that says the SEC was delaying their approval. So it's like they're like, while they're not denying it, they're just going to push it down the line further. And it's a matter of when it's going to be approved. But it's just like, who knows when that's going to be.
And they will drag their feet as long as they want to.
Yep.
They will do it as long as they want to. And there's a reason for it. It's just that they want to get out ahead of it. I mean, it's like so stupid. Yeah. So anyways, if you want to know the game plan, the straight up game plan I plan on doing, and I'm not sure if you guys are doing the same thing. Jay's saying Sugartown. I love that call out because it is another game. It's just on not on Solana, but that's okay. You don't need to be on Solana right now too. Like Parallel's over on its own chain, really. It's L2, it's Prime. But I think right now the plan is simple. Worry about games. I think that's the big trend that I'm worrying about. I'm not leverage trading. In fact, I'm just going to, if I do anything, I'm adding to spot and I'm throwing it in the staking bag, right? I have a certain goal in mind as far as what I want to be staking, and that's it. The thing I'm worried about is I want to preserve that capital because I think at the new year is when we start getting that bull market mentality back in. And if you guys don't know, the halvening is coming up. It's coming up in April, and that's a lot sooner than you're thinking. Like it is scheduled to come out in April. That's the estimation, just off block time and everything like that. But mid-April is what it's looking like. I just need to preserve as much capital there, and that's it. That's it. I can go play Heist. I can go learn photo finish, which I'm doing right now. Thank you, Joe. Yes. Joe's basically my jockey now. You know, I'm like, hey, Joe, I got some horses. I need you to go ride them, big dog. He's a lot bigger than you'd expect, though. He's not really an ideal jockey size. I need to go find like a 5'2" Colombian dude.
Dude, I'll be the jockey, man.
Actually, Dor, I need you to go recruit jockeys for me. Yeah, you're too tall too, dude. I'm the smallest one of all three of us.
Latin America for you, dog.
Yeah, bro, you're in Jockey Central. I just need you to go find.
Yeah, dog.
Like I swear, 80% of jockeys are Latino. They are.
Dude, look, they're towards the south of Mexico, man. People get pretty short down there, man. You start hitting up like Guatemala and El Salvador, man. The size of the average person begins to lower.
Bro, Kaylor's saying Frisk for jockey. Now, Frisk could actually low-key be kind of a good jockey, so don't tell Frisk I said that. Anyways, yeah, I think it's 80% Latino. Then like 10% is like French. You know, they're just like, angry little Frenchmen.
Napoleon size.
Yeah, exactly. They're all Napoleon size. Anyways, I'm Heist, photo finish. I'm jumping into Honeyland, but I am going to start with Generations first. And also, I need their app to officially come out outside because I finally got their app to work. But every time I try to connect my Phantom wallet to it, it's like saying there's an error. So I'm just going to try it again later. Those three. Tile Pilots I'm interested in, but I don't want to jump in now while all the attention's over there. I'd rather photo finish. The hype has kind of died down a little bit, but not really. It's just off the public eye. So I think it could have another leg up. And also, I just want to play the game. Like I love horse racing plus sports betting is like my favorite things ever with NFTs. So yeah.
So like with photo finish, I think it's one of those sustainable things. So photo finish has been around for a while. So it's kind of reminds me of the Heist. It's like with the Heist, you guys have a sustainable ecosystem where if anything, the price of Coco and Nana are going to range, if not appreciate. I don't foresee the prices of either of those two SPL tokens tanking massively unless there's another exploit, which I don't think you guys will let happen again. But even if there it is, another opportunity to buy, in my opinion. So
yeah, never say never. I mean, we've done our testing, but I will never rule it out now. I thought we were impervious to it before. I'm not making that same mistake.
Beyond that, I think I would consider that an outlier, though. But even with that outlier, nothing fundamentally changed with the Heist. So you guys would be able to bounce back from it if it did happen again. So it's the same thing that kind of applies with photo finish. Photo finish has been around for like 2 years now. These guys have built out a sustainable ecosystem. So you might not see astronomical pumps in token prices, but you don't need that. Right now, there's nothing else going on the market. So people are looking for something to do and have fun with. So I think it's a prime opportunity to maybe pay a premium up front and then have a high likelihood of gaining your making your initial cost back over time. Yeah,
and that's what I'm thinking too. The guys, the beauty of games, like I said, is they have an SPL. Like they do. Most of them, almost all of them, have an SPL attached to them. And instead of worrying about the illiquidity of the NFT market, you have the liquidity of the SPL market. You can then take your profit or take your risk off the table through playing the game. Like it's beautiful. And then the beauty is once you take your risk off the table, I don't care. It could go to zero as long as I'm having fun. That's all I care about, right? Like it is basically a free game for me, and then I can do whatever I want to. Do I want to take profit? Sure. I got some assets I can take profit from. Do I want to buy more? Like just go for it, you know?
So B, is this alpha or not? Like Remnants is at 3 SOL. I know you guys are focused on the heist right now. So like
Remnants isn't. I will say right now we are pretty much like fully focused on.
Okay.
We talk all the time about, you know, like how do we want to go about. There's a bunch of different ways we want to go about kind of revamping Remnants to kind of make it more. The big thing that crushed Remnants was nothing more than economy. It was too linear. I've said this time and time again. Is like we need EV negative. The one thing I learned about photo finish, and I know Joe's saying it, that we heard Corey talk about it, but it was a life cycle. There's a life cycle of horses, which means that it's not always going to be like, oh, you just have this horse forever. Like this, that once paid lifetime membership that entitles you to play the game, like Corey was talking about.
Yeah,
that is a huge key piece. Yeah, and that's when you play Remnants. Like that is, you don't die or anything. There's no, you don't lose items or anything. You're just trying to upgrade, and then once you hit the plateau, it's like, okay, now what? We just need to add some way to add a life cycle into Remnants, and then boom, which we have ideas for. It's just, it's like Netflix, right? So if Netflix was just getting into streaming and streaming was taking off and it was booming, right? And then they're like, you know what? We're going to go back to DVDs. We're going to go back to shipping DVDs. You know, they did that before. I don't know if I'm showing my age right now or not, but that was the transition period from Blockbuster to streaming. Was they delivered DVDs to your door. You got to rent them and everything like that. It was sick. They basically say, like, us going back to Remnants right now when we have the focus and attention of and hype of Heist would actually be doing a disservice to both projects in my mind. Like I because then Heist people are like, well, now what? Remnant people are like, oh, okay, this is good. And then we're like trying to catch the product level up to where Heist was when we could be doing the coolest thing ever with Heist and then catch up Remnants to that and just take what we learned with Heist and, you know, apply it to Remnants. So I don't know. That's just kind of our philosophy. Remnants will make a comeback. I just, unless you're planning on like, I would not expect anything anytime soon. You know, that would be my thing is like maybe the new year, maybe. But right now we have our plan set out for season 3 already of what we want to do with Heist. So that's not alpha. Photo finish, Honeylands, work on games. That's what that's my alpha for right now. A quick question for you guys. Did you guys see Marquise Brownlee's video on the Saga phone?
Yes, I did. Go ahead. Did you see it, Joe?
¿Qué pasó?
2.1 million. Do you know who MKBHD is?
I have no idea who that is.
He's basically like a tech reviewer, like probably the most popular, if not the most popular tech reviewer. 17.4 million subscribers. He's probably up there with like minus tech tips and stuff like that. You know,
he reviewed the Solana phone.
Yeah, the headline is, "This is a crypto phone. Don't buy it." That's the title of the video.
A good title. Got a lot of clicks, I bet.
But it did 2.1 million views.
I think it was fair.
Yeah, it was. I don't think he was overcritical about it. I actually don't think it was like,
no. Hey,
you know, the one thing I wish he harped in on more is like, hey, they decreased the price to $600. But even then, he was like, yeah, go get the Google Pixel instead.
So the perspective he was coming from was like, is this a phone an average consumer should buy? If they're just looking on the market to buy a phone, he was going from the perspective of no, you shouldn't buy this because there's better options that can get you more value for the same price. So from that perspective, I completely agree with, because most normally, just because it's crypto, you can use crypto on it, most normies aren't going to care about crypto. It just is what it is at this point.
Yeah. And like outside of the crypto features, is there anything that appeals to you on it? No, the camera array sucks, you know? Like processing's good. The materials, he said, he's like top-notch build. And then he's like, the coolest part about this phone is actually the charging cable that comes with it, where you get to protect your data. You literally flip a switch and you don't have to worry about, you know, juice hacks or anything like that, which he was like, that's so niche, and you can buy it for $30 on Amazon right here, link below. A nice little shill of an affiliate link too. I love that.
Yeah.
That's how you know he's
that one
good.
in there real quick. Yep.
But
I didn't even notice that one, dog.
Bro, I was like, dang, he is really good at his craft.
Yes,
but nonetheless, I still think it was fair and it was good for Solana. Like there is such thing. I know like Mert was saying, oh, well, there's no such thing as bad press or whatever. I do think it was like there's a stigma around crypto and we need to break it. And when you see, the most neutral, favorable tech reviewers saying like, yeah, this is still like, the asset price is down 90% and here's this and that. Didn't look great for us. I don't know if you go right like, oh yeah, that's good press or whatever. So it wasn't great.
With my thing with Solana and why I'm bullish on it, man, I think Solana is one of those few chains in the future that people are going to use without knowing that they're using it, man. Just because the integration, like with Visa, like coming up and using Solana for settlements or whatever, it's like millions of people will use Solana without realizing they're using it. So it's like, regardless of like, the negativity around it, having Solana continue to be a household name, I think is still bullish, man, because then they're like, oh, what cryptos are out there? Well, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. You have that out there. Most normies don't know anything other than Bitcoin. So the fact that they might even remotely know Solana has a bad phone is still bullish in my opinion.
Yeah, I still think it helps awareness. Kayler saying in the comments that iJustine did a better justice on her review, and she has a Helium node too. I agree. I think it was a better view or a better watch because I watched that. It was actually like a fair review, and I thought it was a little more crypto forward. So at least she knew what she was talking about. But at the same time, not everybody's going to be like Justine. Also, her view, the number of views on her video was 47,000 compared to MKBHD's, which was at 2.1 million, and that's in 4 days. That. And what's crazy is Justine has 7 million subscribers. Like, talk about falling off a cliff on your engagement. Holy cow. I don't know. I maybe just optimizing better, or the fact that I think MKBHD is that he's just been so consistent with his videos that the algo probably helps him out a little more. Nonetheless, it's good. We got good news for Solana. Like, if you're scared of Solana, I don't think you should be. The only thing that worries me always is tokenomics of Solana, and just we gotta shake out some of the BC still. But for the most part, like, they already left. They sold the top and we bought it. So most people bought it.
I was there buying at 240.
I was not. Yeah, no, I was not. I was just celebrating we're rich and then round tripping it. At least like half my bag. So at least I sold a bit. I learned a bit from 2017, but like, bless that. You look at it, you're like, man, I could have been just chilling on an island for like the next 2 years.
Dude, it's so difficult though, man. It's just like, I tell myself I'm going to do better next bull run, but am I? No, I'm not. I'm going to ape into the same Ponzi farms. I'm going to buy the next whatever coin. I'm going to ride it up, and I'm going to think myself, man, this is already 100x. Maybe I should sell. Nah, it can 100x again. So I'm just going to be realistic with myself and know that I'll rail trip some bags next bull market.
Yeah, that's you will. Like, I don't think no matter who you are, like I think there's always going to be those bags that you have, like, you just turn the blinders on and you're like, oh, I got bias right here. I did it too. I did. Could I have sold remnants at like $2,000 a pop? Yeah, absolutely. But I still have a bag, and I'm like, well, I kind of got my value out of it. I'm not too upset about the cost or anything like that. Then luckily that was another game that I did sell a nice little chunk of CMP when it was tradable on Famous Fox. So I still got value out of it. And honestly, like, at the end of the day, there's going to be those bags. Couple of notes I want to talk about on the NFT front, because there are actually some talking points. One, what the hell is Brawlhalla? I need to know, because the thing, yes,
I never heard of it.
Dude, 1 minute. I want you to just look at this chart right now. You guys can follow along, sniper.xyz. You can go ahead and check out Brawlhalla, which is the number 9 collection on the charts right now. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, because this run up in this market, dude, in this economy, are you kidding me? Look at this.
Yo.
Look at this. Its mint price was like 0.25. Look at this. What is happening over there?
People are eating. That's what's happening.
Yeah, I'm glad some people are.
Yeah.
But also when you look at the under the hood and stuff. I mean, what was it? I saw somebody said like the top 10 holders own like 15% of the collection. I'm not saying that's bad because, you know, we have the kind of similar problem over in Heist. I want to call it a problem because those people are just believe in the product, and they could do the same thing with Brawlhalla. I think we need to stop making a big deal out of like top holders holding a good bit. You need that in this market. Like I'm just saying. But this is a Bomba Clot. Do you remember Bomba Clot's run up? Like they were like a DJ mint, then all of a sudden ran to 20. They're doing the same thing. They are literally doing the same thing over at Brawlhalla. I don't know what they're doing. I tried to check out the website. If somebody knows and just wants to type it into the comments, that'd be great. But like they're crushing right now. Crushing. This was a degen price mint. This is 0.25 SOL. Oh my God. This is like a 40x, dude.
Like I said, people are eating right now. And if you're still holding that 14x, man, you know, hats off to you. I would have been sold a while ago if I got into that. But congrats if you were able to jump in, dog.
Yeah. So I mean, look, I will always give credit where credit is due. Like, shout out Brawlhalla. I don't know what you're doing over there. I gotta find out. It's definitely too late for me to I don't want to buy in right now, but hats off to you guys. Pilot's another one. We already talked about them a little bit, but they're still holding up pretty well. I mean, it's 9.5 ish right now. Don't necessarily want to buy in, but I'd be interested if it gets down to like 8.5. That would be like I'll start looking at it. What's Graphite at? What's GP at? GP is at 17 or 23 cents now. So it ran all the way up to 35 cents. Now looking like it's printing a little head and shoulders on the 4 hour. So I don't know if I necessarily want to be, or at least like a little double top. I certainly don't want to be buying here, but yeah, I don't know. It's good to be in games. And then the last one I want to talk about too, actually two more. One, Bodogos, dude. I cannot state how bullish I am on Bodogos solely because, not just because it's easy or anything like that, but they sold out of their packs in 2 seconds flat. 2 seconds flat. They had another pack opening today. Those things were gone like in an instant. They were literally 5 seconds. It was what I timed from when it opened up to when all the packs were gone. So that amount of attention, I just think at 3.2, like there are way worse projects to punt on. And I like Easy, I like Nick, I like Pio. Like they know what they're doing. And even though this market is just unforgiving right now, it is so unforgiving unless you have a game. I think they are setting up an ecosystem that will be very in-depth but approachable. I think it'll onboard a lot of people. I think it'll bridge a lot of gaps between ETH and Sol. And I have a bag. I'm not looking to sell anytime soon, guys. I would give full disclaimer. I would maybe start taking a little bit of profit at like 10 SOL just so I can take a little risk off the table. But that's it. I want to hold a bunch of dogs. I like the dogs.
Yo, like I love the dogs too, man. And right now I'm looking at I'm selling off one of my green eyes. I'm trying to sell off one of them now earlier than I wanted to. I'm still selling for a profit, but trying to rotate back into Sol because I want to pick up more Heist again, and I want to pick up some Bodogos. So I think those are I'm putting in bids for Heist around that 15.5 range, and I'm sure some of them will hit. So if I can kill like 5 to 10 orangutans or chimps at that price, I'll be fucking happy. And then also picking up 10 to 20 Bodogos too. So
yeah, I think Bodogos just they have potential, and I think they'll come out with cool things. It's not like these guys don't know the market, you know what I mean? So the last one I wanted to mention was actually Oogie. I wanted to mention Oogie. Oogie. They have teased 4 things. The one thing I saw was just like a fun co-op game. And again, we talk about what's the one thing you could do for your project right now? Just drop a game. It doesn't even have to be the focal point of your project. It just needs to be like it could be anything from auxiliary to IP, brand recognition or anything like that. But they've been teasing stuff that's like 4 new things that are dropping over the next like month or so. I think September is actually going to be a pretty good month for Oogie. they already ran up 50% since last week, from 4 sol to now they're at 6 sol. If I can see a retrace back down to like 5.5, maybe like 5.5, that's probably going to be where I'm interested in to Oogie. And I do think they're like, I know some of the people that they're working with, and I think they have a lot more credibility than we're giving them credit for. So they would be on my radar. So those are the big projects. Like I said, I only want photo finish Heist. I'm playing around with Honeyland once I figure out this dang app on the phone. And then those other ones, Tyler Pilots, Bodagos, I think are doing cool things with the packs and everything. Brawlhalla, hopefully a big retrace happens. I don't know what they got. I got to look into it more. So I'm M. Alley's spitting facts over here in the chat. So if you guys are looking on the YouTube chat, you need to go check those out. And then Oogie would be the other one that I'm actually interested in. So M. Alley's asking, what do we think of Migos? Yeah, I don't want to buy. I'm so picky about NFTs right now. And even those 4, those are just on watch lists. There's no guarantee I even want to buy them. Especially Bodagos, like I already have enough exposure to them. But yeah, Migos could be interesting. They're doing cool things with CNFTs and they have charges. I think they'll come out with some game. Like, I think in this market, you would be dumb not to be thinking about games in some capacity. Like, it doesn't even have to be a massively intricate game or anything like that. We've proven that with the Heist, although there is intricacies to it. It could just be fun, simple, like log in, play the game, right? And we got the shitcoin legend in here, Manny himself. Link. What? We're just sending Link. Okay, well, you guys heard it here first. He's giving away free alpha in the chat. I'm not checking out Link because I'm terrible at trading shitcoin. Sorry, Manny. So yeah, I don't know. Those like gaming, and I guess if you're good at trading shitcoins over on ETH, that's gonna be where I look. So everything else just fugazi to me. Don't care.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, dog. I mean, I'm not really trading those much these days. Told you, I do plan on trying to get back in the Heist and definitely pick up some Bodagos. Other than that, I'm not looking at anything.
Bro, if I can give, I don't even want to give alpha because it really depends on how you want to play the game. That's the nice thing about Heist or anything. But like, Nana's still the most obvious play in my book. We haven't released land yet. We've already been teasing it. You know, you've seen Stud on the timeline. He's been in Discord. He's teasing land. You know it's coming at some point in time. So I don't know. If I were getting back into Heist these days, one, I would wait till we get recruitment. We've seen a little drawdown on Tangs today because we just dropped 400. Congrats if you got a Goon Tang too, which is the funnest thing in the world to say, Goon Tang. That's illicit. Yeah, as far as that goes, yeah, if you got one of those, congrats. I'm jealous. Those recruitments right now are EV negative if we have goons in there. The chance of you winning a goon is going to be rough. I'm staying away from the recruitments for the most part, but also I'm a degen, so I'll probably end up like just buying a couple tickets anyways. But other than that, Nana, I think it's the more obvious if you have a little bit more patience play because you know land's coming out at some point.
Okay, and you'll have to use Nana to buy land.
We'll have mechanics in there, but yeah, I would definitely be if you don't have Nana, I would be in Nana. That would be like my one. And then, you know, whatever you find on the lower price thing, if you see a drawdown in Tangs or anything like that, you can always jump right in. Go grab your things. Manny Shilling Friend Tech. Boy. Manny, I'm not doing Friend Tech again. I don't care if it's coming back. You guys can trade your Ponzi keys and get just hit by the SEC. I don't care anymore. I'm so done with Friend Tech. Guys, is there anything else we need to cover today?
No, man. Enjoy talking. It's always interesting. We're like, oh, nothing to talk about. But then we ramble on about 45 minutes about things going on in the market. Yeah, so it's just another enjoyable show. So thank you, Doug, for hosting this. And, you know, everybody else in the chat for joining us.
Yeah, it's look, I can always talk about stuff if I want to. I'm not having a day. I wish the market was a little more interesting, but I can always talk about stuff. We'll always find something to talk about. But I think that about does it. Joe, you got anything else except for shorting the entire market?
No, man. No. I'm out here. Catch me. Weed for Speed stables, baby. Weed for Speed stables.
God bless. Okay.
2
Well,
seasons, baby. I'm gonna be on
we're
top.
we're gonna go learn from our jockey Joe. Photo finish. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate you guys so much. We will be back on Thursday. We actually do have a great guest for Thursday. We got Marinade coming up, so we get to talk about
great.
DeFi. And that's at least what's scheduled. Now, I can never guarantee that they're coming. Marinade is a very busy company. We hope they come. But that's on the schedule right now. So we'll let you know if that changes. If not, we'll just do the same thing where we talk in circles and you guys listen. So we appreciate you guys stopping by for another episode of RareFUD Radio. We are streaming every Tuesday, Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, we appreciate it.